So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Summer with Monika, 1953. This is going to be another Ingmar Bergman movie. I'm giving it 4 to 5 stars. I thought this was one of his better movies. Similar to Fellini, he's better during his early years of filmmaking, although he's quite owed by the 1953 movie. He's got the bald spot going, and he still managed to seduce the 18-year-old Harriet Andersson. This guy's got 3 lover actresses, Harriet Andersson, and then B.B. Anderson and Liv Ullmann. In this movie, Harriet Andersson is the reason to watch. She gets naked a lot in this movie. And actually, this was turned into a U.S. exploitation movie when Kroger Babs bought the rights to it. The guy who made Mom and Dad, which earned like $100 million. You know, some kind of sex education movie that I've never seen, but I'm kind of intrigued about. Kroger Babs shortened it down to like 62 minutes and made it into like a nudie flick, which is kind of cool. She does get naked a lot, like I said. Not much full nudity, but you do see her complete backside, and her breasts are kind of tilted to the right a bit, so you can't really see her nipples, but you could, I guess if you freeze the frame and take like a photograph shot of, yeah, you can see her left nipple kind of jutting out there, not really her areola, but the other part. So she's pretty hot. She's got the hairy armpits going and the Rubenesque body. She looks good in black and white. Unfortunately, she doesn't look too good when she gets older. She's got the Catherine Lee Scott kind of look during her old age, like 60 years later. This is a Criterion disc, so it's got a ton of bonus features, a bunch of boring like home movies that Ingmar Bergman made. Then there's the interview with Harriet Andersson, who doesn't look that great in her old age. And then there's the trailer, of course. Pretty cool trailer, and and what else? There's the trying to think. There's another bonus feature on there that I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, there's a cool introduction by Ingmar Bergman. He says it's a good movie, and I tend to agree with him. I think it's one of his better movies. He said the producers were like didn't want to make the movie, but because it was salacious and all these other excuses. But Ingmar Bergman convinced them to make the movie. He convinced them by saying it was going to be inexpensive, and it is a low-budget flick. Cool cinematography. The beginning looks really dreary, like dark, kind of Sweden. But then it starts to pick up, and you see the Swedish summer with the nights turning into days and stuff like that. So Harry Anderson is flirting with this guy named Harry. Harry and Harriet, get it? Anyways, Harry's kind of young. He's like 19, and Harriet, or Monika, as she's known in the movie, is 18, I think. But I think by this time Harriet Anderson is 20, and yeah, she's in her bra or her undies or some kind of scantily clad outfit throughout most of the movie, and she even takes off her clothes and gets naked. And you can see her peeing behind a tree, but if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it. Anyways, they work at dull jobs, these two characters. Harry's dad has health problems, and so he ends up in the hospital. When they quit their jobs, they take his dad's boat out to some remote island there, and I really couldn't understand why they were so dang lazy throughout the movie. I mean, Harry was the more redeemable character. I mean, he was faithful, and he worked. He wanted to study and works so that they could buy a house or something. But she kind of turned into the devil woman, like my first wife. She just wanted to party the whole time, and but after they quit their jobs, give their bosses the finger, they go to this remote island. I guess that's what they consider freedom. But Harry gets her pregos. They're not even married yet. And they're eating mushrooms constantly. She says Harry Jr. is going to turn into a mushroom. So she steals a roast from somebody. Somebody deep in the island there. She gets caught, and then she escapes somehow with the roast, while they're calling the cops on her. And so they decide to go back to Stockholm, which is kind of a dreary looking place compared to the island. And that's when things start going downhill. Their aunt is trying to help them out, like put a roof over their heads, but they can't afford rent because Monika keeps buying new clothes or something. I don't know. She's going out with the other guys and cheating on poor Harry there. I felt sorry for the guy. He kind of fell for her at that island when they were having so much fun there. But I guess that's what happens when you rely on cheap thrills as your girlfriend. I mean, I learned that lesson with my first wife. She was super chubby, but she was also very kinky, and she liked to party, kind of like Monika. And Monika isn't that chubby, but she does have that kind of curvy look to her, which is kind of appealing to me, especially in black and white. But yeah, she was also good in Through Glass Darkly. I didn't like her later movies with Ingmar Bergman. Like after they broke up, they made some crappy movies in the early 70s, I think. can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but anyways, pretty cool flick. I didn't like how they were being kind of lazy, Europeans not wanting to work in the beginning, but Harry sort of redeemed himself later. He even he even wanted to take care of his daughter, which is kind of unusual. I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending, but here in the United States, when you get a divorce, you the woman always gets the kid. At least here in California. I don't know about other states, but certainly the case here. And it's unfortunate for me because I don't get to see my son as much as I'd like, but maybe that would change if I can keep begging the court to give me more timeshare. That's what it comes down to here, but he's able to spend time with his daughter relatively easy. And I couldn't really understand why the guy lit their boat on fire and they were still able to use it. That was strange. There's really no plot to this. It's more it's really depressing at the end, though. The poor Harry guy ends up getting the short end of the stick. He ends up hitting her, and that's pretty much the end of their relationship there. I guess I'm not spoiling too much of the ending because it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of a weird ending, but pretty good. She stares into the camera when she's being naughty, and that was pretty cool. She's got a cigarette in her mouth. Smoke's like coming out of her nose. She's like a dragon lady. And then in the beginning of the movie, when she's working, she's like getting sexually harassed, and it's like a normal thing. Here in the United States, you get fired on the spot for doing that to her, like reaching up her skirt and stuff. Pretty interesting movie. A little time capsule from 1953, Sweden. Really wouldn't expect to see too many 1950s movie with nudity, which is probably why that Kroger Babs dude got a hold of it. There was another Swedish movie a year before that had even more nudity and more breasts. So maybe I'll check that one out. I'd like to see the US version, the Kroger Babs edit of this movie. It's got to be pretty bad compared to the Criterion Janus Films version of it. So I guess I'll watch Sawdust and Tinsel next. Another Harriet Andersson flick. I don't think she gets naked in this one. In fact, I know she doesn't, but it should be a pretty good little Carney flick. I got Torment, 1947, which Ingmar Bergman was the screenwriter. So I'm glad I finally got out of the stupid Buñuel section of my my Netflix queue. I wasn't impressed at all with a lot of his stuff. But Ingmar Bergman is a better director, in my opinion, compared to Godard and Buñuel. Heck, even Fellini is a better director. That's certainly Pier Paolo Pasolini is better. But yeah, Sawdust and Tinsel. She plays a mistress. That doesn't surprise me. Sexual betrayal. I guess it does have nudity, but not Harriet Andersson. So that would be cool to watch. Looking forward to that. Anything prior to 1965, I think, should be interesting for Ingmar Bergman completists such as myself. I don't know why I'm watching all these art house movies, but like I said, they're kind of hit or miss, mostly miss, but occasionally you'll find a hidden gem like this. Summer with Monika could have been better, but like I said, the cinematography is really good. It's a really depressing movie. And Harriet Andersson is a reason to watch. So I don't know. I don't know if you want to check it out, but I'm not going to say highly recommended. I'm not going to post the trailer in the description box, which has some nudity, by the way. And then, but I did like this film. I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, it's one of the better Ingmar Bergman films, which isn't saying much, but definitely like his earlier stuff, especially the stuff with what's his name, the tall guy, the priest in guy who played the priest in The Exorcist. I forget his name, but those movies are great. I love those. Through Glass, Darkly is pretty good. It's about the same as this movie in terms of quality, but I'm hoping that Sawdust and Tinsel will surprise me. I'm going to check it out in a couple days, and I'll let you know what I think of it, but my expectation is pretty high for this one. Then I got Torment, and I'll see if I can find that other Swedish film that has more nudity. See if I can find it on Netflix later.